that lawmakers would reach a compromise on a new stimulus deal, said Art Hogan, chief market strategist at National Securities in New York. Comments for officials that deal was still possible and had lifted the three main stock indexes in the previous session, helping them recoup losses from last week that were sparked by news that President Donald Trump had contracted COVID-19. Trump returned to the White House on Monday from the Walter Reed Medical Center Military Hospital, but faced fresh backlash for removing his mask upon his return and urging Americans not to fear the disease that has killed more than 209,000, as we always like to say. That is not the real truth. That's only partial, because the CDC had already said that 10% of those deaths were straight from COVID-19. Others had extenuating circumstances other than COVID-19. That means like maybe right at this particular point, maybe 20,000 may be actual deaths from COVID-19. Growing political uncertainty in the run-up up to the presidential election, mixed macroeconomic data have increased volatility in U.S. stocks, with the benchmark S&P 500 and tech-heavy NASDAQ about 5% and 6% below their respective record highs hit more than a month earlier. The companies have faced intense regulatory scrutiny into their quest for global market share, and the U.S. House of Representatives antitrust report contains a thinly veiled call to break up the companies. Republican Congressman Ken Buck said in a draft response seen by Reuters. All eyes later in the day will be on the address by the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell at a virtual meeting of the National Association of Business Economics, where global central bankers are likely to present their plans about how much more they can do to prevent an economic depression. Of course, we're really looking forward to this new stimulus package. Hopefully it comes out soon. As I said earlier, I lost a business during this pandemic, so we all are waiting. Those of us who have suffered loss in businesses and jobs, and we're trying to wait things out. But of course, the Congress who get their paychecks all the time, and who pass another funding bill, they're still getting paid. But a lot of us are unemployed. So they need to think about that as they're going to the table to decide on these stimulus packages. Well, we're going to take a break right now. We'll be right back with you here on the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert.
Dr. Melinda Morris supports a strong economy, safe neighborhoods, limited property taxes, and promotes an improved education system. Dr. Melinda Morris wants to improve access and insurance coverage for medical care. Dr. Morris is pro-life and will support right-to-life legislation in Austin. Dr. Morris will remain true to her values when she is elected to office. She is going to Austin to promote life, prosperity, and personal freedom for the constituents of Senate District 13.
To every single mother, every small business owner, every farmer, every cancer survivor, and every woman out there who has ever been put down by the establishment, it's time to stand up. On November 3rd, we need you to write in Ola Hawatma on the ballot under New York 19th Congressional. Make history in the New York 19th District with the first woman to win by a write-in. Don't just vote. Make history on November 3rd, 2020. Write in Ola Hawatma.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. The Trump campaign announces kickoff Operation MEGA, Make America Great Again, the event. President Trump's re-election campaign introduced it to new virtual platform as part of an effort dubbed Operation MEGA. The initiative, which was announced Monday, aimed to temporarily live stream the president's rallies instead of holding them in person. It officially launched around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that same night and featured speeches from Vice President Mike Pence, campaign advisor Kimberly Guilfoyle, and several members of the First Family, who said the online events are meant to energize and mobilize supporters until the president is cleared to return to campaign trail. Donald Trump Jr. made a pitch to undecided voters, encouraging them to get involved and stay involved. He went on to tout his father's effort in the Oval Office, highlighting how he's brought home thousands of troops and stood up to foreign governments. You think the Bidens are going to be tough on China, he said. Guess what, guys? If you weren't tough on China in the first half of the century of your career, you are not going to start out and be, as he stated, what Joe is a camouflage that he's a radical left will use to push in their agenda. Guilfoyle echoed those remarks by saying left-leaning politicians will continue to play games with our children's education as long as the coronavirus pandemic continues. She said school choice has never been so important, adding that it's one of the President Trump's top priorities. No one wants their child to go into an unsafe environment, but parents should be empowered to make decisions, she stated, not have to be stuck in a house staring at a computer for screen forever. Guilfoyle said she believes this upcoming election is all about recovery and assured voters it's 4 more years of President Trump that will provide not only that, but opportunity and choice for every American. Coalitions such as the Women for Trump bus tour, Black Voices for Trump, and Latinos for Trump are also expected to serve as a voice of the president while he is recovering. Also, the Black Conserative Voice here with David Colbert, we will serve also as a voice for our president as well as we continue to do during these times of his illness. Well, I just want to thank you for standing by our president and those of our supporters. Continue to stand by him. Continue to keep him in your prayers as we move forward into the coming days and weeks as we look forward to the recovery and our president's return to the campaign trail. Health and Human Services Secretary Azar meets with doctors who oppose COVID-19 lockdowns. Health and Human Services HHS Secretary Alex Azar held a meeting with scientists who are advocating for herd immunity approach to tackling COVID-19. On Monday, Azar met with Professor Martin Kulldorff of Harvard University as well as Oxford Professor Sunetra Gupta and Stanford fellow Jay Bahacharla, if that's the way you pronounce it. The 3 doctors argued only at-risk demographics should be required to quarantine. They also believe young and healthy people should be able to carry on as normal while facing exposure to the virus. The meeting sparked speculation the U.S. may rely on herd immunity to defeat the coronavirus while reopening the economy going forward. And I agree with them. I'm not a scientist, but to me that seems the easiest way to resolve this issue, since there is effective treatments for the disease. Some of the main points that they're making, they say they put together sort of a whole plan of let's have a different approach to getting over this, and they're not deniers in any sense of the way, and they're not anti-vaccine whatsoever, explained Daniel McAdams, Executive Director of the Ron Paul Institute for Peace and Prosperity. But one of the first points they make is that the current lockdown policies are producing devastating effects on short and long-term public health. The three doctors said their meeting with Secretary Azar was productive, and the discussion of their proposals continues. California doctors successfully cures about 1,700 COVID-19 patients. So people are being cured. People are being given the go-ahead to move on with their lives, even though they had contracted coronavirus. So there is therapeutics and other means of resolving the issues that come along with COVID-19. Well, you're watching the Black Conservative Voice. We're going to take a break right now, and we'll be right back with you in a moment.
President Trump made a promise to protect our Social Security and Medicare. He kept that promise, and he always will. Today, Social Security and Medicare are strong, and under President Trump, they will never be cut. President Trump is protecting pre-existing conditions. Prescription drugs are more affordable. The cost of insulin is going down. Under President Trump, our benefits and our health care are safe and secure.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice, and I'm your host, David Colbert. Vice presidential candidate debate. COVID-19 precautions include plexiglass shield and a look at new rules. After President Trump's coronavirus diagnosis last week, the Commission on Presidential Debates said it will separate the vice presidential candidates with plexiglass in addition to other precautions during the Wednesday night encounter. The debate between Vice President Mike Pence and Democrat Vice Presidential nominee Senator Kamala Harris will take place at the University of Utah in Salt Lake City. Interesting place. Pence and Harris will be seated roughly 12 feet apart compared to the 7 feet that separated President Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden during the last week's presidential debate. Moderator Susan Page of USA Today will also be seated 12 feet from the candidates, and the Commission of Presidential Debates said. Pence and Harris will not have to wear masks on stage, but they will have to be tested for coronavirus prior to the debate. Trump tested positive for COVID-19 a few days after the debate. His team was in charge of testing him and was also required to certify to the Cleveland Clinic that the president had recently tested negative. Biden and Trump were the first candidates to forego the pre-debate handshake because of the coronavirus, and their running mates will do the same. Pence and Harris will not even get to greet each other with an elbow bump. There will be guests in the debate hall, although their numbers will be limited and they will be required to wear masks and present clean COVID-19 tests. It's quite a challenge to keep taking these tests. I'm trying to figure out, what type of effect does these tests actually have on the people that take them over and over and over again. I can't help but believe that it might be quite a challenge within itself. Well, before I move on to our next topic tonight, I just want to let you know that we do have advertising spots. Our spots are relatively low price, and you can get several spots for the upcoming election. If you're a candidate, we have a lot of spots available during our daytime. Please get on it, hurry as you can. We are viewed in at least 37 states, and our program at least has anywhere from 10 to 15,000 viewers each time we come on the air. And thank you, viewers, for coming and watching us here on the CTM News Black Conservative Voice. But we do have the email address, which has been running across the bottom of the screen. you can send your requested email address, and we will send you out a packet to advertise with us, your business, small business, big business, a political campaign, and please do so. Give us an opportunity to help you out. We also have a place where we can get commercials produced for you if you don't have your own commercials. So please get in contact with our office through email, and we will try to help you out there. The stimulus deal is likely to, this week, one way or another, to be approved, one form or another. With Election Day now less than a month away, negotiations between Democrats and White House officials are already under pressure to reach a deal on the new stimulus package before many Americans vote. But now, with President Donald Trump return to the White House after being hospitalized with COVID-19 and the Senate pausing for the floor action for 2 weeks, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi have further obstacles to overcome as they intend to reach an agreement on the next wave of coronavirus relief and then get the new bill passed. And I urge the Democrats and the Congress, please, let's get this thing approved and get it put through. Let's stop being unflexible or not flexible with the Republicans in the House with you, especially Nancy Pelosi. We need to move this bill forward and get it out of the way, because I can guarantee you it's not going to look good when the people go to the polls and they see that you've been delaying funds coming to them. And you needed to get to the people before November 3rd. If you don't, you may not get voted for. The president's commitment to getting a deal done, but he wants to make sure that we move expeditiously, but also in a fiscally responsible manner. White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows told Fox News on Monday. We're going to take a short break right now, and we'll be right back with you in a moment here on the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert.
Do you care about Black lives? I do. And unlike the people that currently run Baltimore, I actually have a plan to make life better for Black people here. Walk with me. I want you to see this. I'm Kim Klasick. This is Baltimore, the real Baltimore. This city was once among the most prosperous, populated, and powerful cities in America. So what happened? Our leaders abandoned us and Baltimore fell into ruin. But it doesn't have to be this way. None of this has to be this way. A broken Baltimore does not have to be our future. And that's why I'm running for Congress, because I see the city differently. I walk the streets of Baltimore and see what could be. I want you to see what I see. I see Baltimore that picks up trash. There are piles of garbage all around Baltimore. It makes life unsafe for our families. I'll work with city leaders to get Baltimore's Solid Waste Bureau the resources it needs to take out the trash. Our streets should be a reflection of our leaders. Clean, not dirty. Much of our trash gathers in abandoned homes. There are over 17,000 abandoned buildings in Baltimore. They are a scar on the face of our city. I will support tax credits and incentive programs to give residents a chance to buy and rehabilitate these homes. Everyone deserves a safe community and a chance at home ownership. Let's put the charm back in Charm City. Who will live in these homes? The newly employed constituents of Baltimore City. This district needs more jobs. The best way to get them is by having businesses invest in our community. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act gives federal tax incentive to drive private investment into opportunity zones just like Baltimore. Who will work in all of these new jobs if we don't have an educated workforce? 9 out of 10 Black boys in Baltimore are not reading at grade level. Over a dozen high schools in Baltimore have zero students proficient in math. This is a tragedy. We can end the school to prison pipeline with school choice, providing parents with options to escape schools that do not serve our children. Let's make Baltimore better for our kids. Isn't that the point? That's my vision for Baltimore. The corrupt leaders hate it. They attack me for taking a stand, for wanting better for our people, our children, our communities. But I'm not the only one who wants better. Tens of millions of you have shared the struggle of Black people in Baltimore. You lifted our voices. You cared about our Black lives more than our own Democrat leaders. They have done nothing for us. Now they can't hide. It's time for change. We are that change. I'm Kim Klacik, and I'm running for Congress because I actually care about Black lives. All Black lives matter. Our communities matter. We matter. And Baltimore doesn't have to vote Democrat.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. As I said earlier, the president is committed to getting a deal done as soon as possible. As long as it's fiscally responsible, he will sign it. I am confident that we will have an agreement, Pelosi said Monday on MSNBC. The timing of it, I can't say because I don't know. Following the interview, Pelosi answered a political reporter's question about whether she expects to reach a deal this week. She said one way or another depends on if they really want to crush the virus, honor our heroes, and put money in the pockets of the American people. After 3 Republican senators tested positive for COVID-19, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell suspended his chamber until October 19th because Senate floor votes are held in person. McConnell said he would recall senators to vote on the stimulus package if needed and would give them 24 hours to return to the Capitol. With all that that's happening over the past few days, we answer questions about how Trump's COVID diagnosis could impact the talks. The quickest a new bill could realistically be passed, and what happens if there's no agreement before the election. We regularly update this story, they say. But the thing is we need to get this bill passed. There's a lot of people in need. Yours truly as well. We're coming up on a very difficult time in this country because we are trying to get back and open our economy in all the states, not just the states run by Republicans, but also the ones that are run by the Democratic Party. So once again, we're going to take a short break and we'll be back with you in one moment.
This president deserves the support of the Black community because he's earned it.
There is a silent majority of us that see you, see what you're doing, see what you did for HBCU schools. That was actually the deal for us.
I wager to say that there is no American president since Lincoln that has had the impact for Black America that President Trump has had.
Joe Biden supported the crime bill in '94.
He has imprisoned Black America, basically.
Trump supported the NAACP and Black youth like myself in '87.
He's a businessman. He's bringing businesses back into America.
Bringing jobs back to America. Bringing the truth back, and he's stopping needless wars.
My day is going to be amazing. I'm never going to forget this day. This day is historic.
In 2016, I made you a solemn pledge. I would be your greatest champion. In the first 3 years, we achieved the lowest Black unemployment rate in history. We achieved the largest job gains for African Americans on record. The poverty rate for African Americans reached the lowest level ever recorded. I did more for the Black community in 47 months than Joe Biden did in 47 years.
We cannot deny that that man has done everything that he has set out to do in record-breaking time. Can we say 3 years? Can we say 3 years?
We will create 3 million new jobs for the Black community. Open 500,000 new Black-owned businesses. bring even greater fairness to the justice system. We did criminal justice reform.
I want to thank President Donald John Trump.
Create a ladder of opportunity for African American children by delivering school choice to every parent in America. Together we made unbelievable progress and achieved once unimaginable success. And with your support, your vote, and your voice, the best is yet to come.
You can expect us to come out in droves in your support. For absolute certain. That's a certainty.
Welcome back. I want to thank you for joining us here on the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert. I want to urge you to get out and vote on November 3rd and or before the 13th. I believe early voting begins. Get out and vote early. And we will have an election and we will re-elect President Donald J. Trump to office. He has done a lot for this country. And I am excited to see what he's going to do in the next term. So please get out and vote Republican, because we need to retake control of our House so that we can avoid these long, drawn-out votes and bills, and also allow us to keep control of the Senate, because we are conservatives. We do keep things conservatively, which means that we watch out for what we are spending with the taxpayers' dollars. We don't like to overspend the taxpayers' money. Unfortunately, you have the Democrats who are always talking about raising your taxes. I don't know how they managed to get in office so many times, knowing that they are going to increase your taxes. Even Joe Biden himself said that he is going to raise taxes $4 trillion. He said, be sure I am going to raise taxes. How can you even vote for something like that? Somebody saying that I'm going to take more money out of your pocket. That's pretty much what he's saying. I'm going to take more money out of your pocket. And please, let's not even talk about Kamala Harris. You get her back in there, she might come up with another bill like that 94 bill that sent a bunch of African-American men to jail for longer times than deemed necessary for the type of crimes that were being committed. So please get out and vote Republican in the elections in November and early voting. Vote Donald Trump, vote Republican, and all our leaders. Put them back in there so that we can continue to move this country forward without any hindrances from the far left, which have gone so far left, they're even criticizing. They had a thing recently on the news programs, ABC, NBC. All these dudes, they sitting by there waiting for President Trump to die. That's what they're waiting for. Oh, when he was in the hospital, all they were expressing was gloom and doom. They were insulting our presidents, calling him obese and all these things. I know a lot of you saw it. It was just so funny. I'm like, come on, guys. The man is dealing with this virus, and you're coming out and saying these things that you're saying. It's just utterly ridiculous. Well, once again, I want to thank you for joining us here on the Black Conservative Voice. My name is David Colbert, and I want to say to you what I always like to say. God bless you, God bless America, and God bless the world. And until next time, this is David Colbert saying good night and God bless.